Coming on live today because I'm going to introduce a wonderful holistic practitioner named Kate Motz. When she comes on and asks to join, we will start our chat. So our intention today was just to kind of hop on and talk a little bit about strategies for dealing with COVID weight gain. It's been a really challenging time for a lot of my clients, and so my friend Kate will be on here. She's a holistic practitioner. She owns a group called Integrative Wellness Advisors. Oh, here she is. I'm going to bring her in. Hold on one second. So in a second, she'll be on our live. There you are. Hi, Kate.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad we figured this out. So I was
I know.
just saying, did you hear me? I was just saying to the viewers that we did not intend to be live today, but here we are live.
Here we are.
Um, and our plan was to talk a little bit about strategies for COVID weight gain and demotivation and all the things that came along with COVID that surprised us.
Right.
So I first wanted to introduce you, Kate. Why don't you tell our viewers what your background is and
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
yeah.
Love the last minute, last minute throw it together, right?
Love a last
Um,
minute live. It's the best kind.
yeah. Um, I'm Kate Motz, and I'm a functional medicine coach. So, and an author. I actually just published my first book around weight loss. But yeah, I mean, I know we've been talking briefly about some strategies that you've been sharing on your lives with your clients as well. I know people are just really struggling with either, they're dealing with the COVID-20 or whatever you call it,
Right,
COVID-15.
19. The COVID-19. Right.
No, I mean like the 20 pounds, right? That people
Right,
have
the
gained.
19. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Right. So, and you had some really good strategies that you'd been sharing with people. So I know that's what we were going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I'm glad that we got to meet here in the space. And I definitely think that by the end of this talk, we should be talking a little bit too about what we do in our practices.
Yes.
My viewers will already know that I'm a co-founder of Absolute Nutrition Counseling. We're a group of registered dietitians, and we have multiple locations around New Jersey. But right now, because of COVID, we are allowed to treat people anywhere via telehealth. So these lives have been really helpful in getting that word out to our clients. We're also offering a couple of special promotions for our law enforcement, our firefighters, and our educators that we're waiving co-pays for the rest of the year. So basically, our registered dietitian services are free to everybody. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
great.
But I do have a lot of clients that come and they reach that point where they're stuck, and we have strategies and strategies for them to overcome the hurdle. And then I'm like, what's up with you? I need another professional to divert to and to ask questions. So I think you're going to be the person I'm going to be sending them over to for questions about, what do you think causes a lot of people to get totally stuck? Um, and at this
Yeah.
point, what have you seen in your patients?
Like with the weight loss resistance. So they're doing all the things I say that they know to do. They're eating right. They're following all of your guidance, right?
Right.
You probably have some, compliant people that you work with, which is nice. But yeah, they get stuck and don't know what else to do. So I use a lot of functional diagnostic testing with my clients. That's sort of my specialty. So I teach people how to uncover the root cause of health challenges, whether it be weight loss resistance or right now I'm working with so many women that experience migraine headaches on a regular basis.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, and a lot of hormonal issues as well. I know stress has really wiped people out,
Right.
caused a lot of other health issues to pop up. But yeah, so using the functional diagnostic testing has been just really eye-opening. So things like food sensitivities, not allergies, but food sensitivities where maybe they're eating a food that they're highly sensitive to and it's creating like a stress response in the body. So it creates that like cortisol that's pumping or stress hormone. And as you know, the more cortisol you have pumping through your body, that's where the belly comes in and the weight kind of sits around the waist and feels like no matter what you do, it won't come off. And then I find out that people are sensitive to things like almonds and strawberries, which are healthy foods. So, they're doing all the things, they're eating all the right stuff, but maybe their body is sensitive to it.
That's
So that's just one
interesting that you
example.
that I'm sorry.
That's just one example of some of the
Yeah,
testing.
I like that. It's very interesting that you say that. I noticed that same thing with my clients is that, and I always tell them, if you're at the point with a food that you're actually symptomatic from it, like let's just throw out there as an example, dairy. A lot of my clients are like, well, I can eat this much dairy, but not this much dairy. And I kind of feel like if you're already at the point where dairy is causing symptoms for you, you're well past the point of dairy being useful for you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, why not try a month of elimination? Take it out entirely and see how you feel, and then try it back for 2 days. I mean, is that the same way you do your food challenges? Mine are, 2 days, twice a day, back to back, see what happens. And a lot of times it's very eye opening.
Oh,
And
yeah. And how long do you usually have them cut the dairy out or whatever it is for you?
30 days.
30 days? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love my eliminations these days are different than they used to be. I used to take out one thing at a time with my clients and say, like, check out how you're feeling from, that removal. But now I feel a lot of times people are just dying for relief from the symptoms, from the bloating, they just want to start losing weight. So I will take out all the potential inflammatory groups,
Right.
gluten, dairy, similar kind of like a Whole 30 style in a way,
Yeah.
where you're bare bones, nuts and tacks, and trying to then add things back when you feel great again.
Right. And then your body yells at you when it's not right. Usually.
Right.
Usually your body screams loudly, tells you don't ever eat that again. Yeah, but so I use the same strategy, the elimination type of a diet. The issue that I find sometimes is that they're still sensitive to some of the things that are included, like the nuts and seeds, or even some vegetables. I work with a lot of women that are suffering from, like you mentioned, bloating, like bloating from the kale and nightshade type vegetables and stuff like
Right.
that too. So that's why I like to combine it with the food sensitivity testing, because it's just so easy. It's a finger prick test. The lab I use sends them a kit to their home, testing strip in. The lab tells them exactly what they are sensitive to and on what level. And then it just takes all the guessing
Okay.
out. So it's really powerful.
Perfect. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
really awesome. And how do they go about getting that testing done? They just come into your office and meet with you? Sorry, I'm just trying to charge.
Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing everything virtual these days, so it's literally a, FaceTime or a Zoom phone call. My requirements are probably a little bit different because I'm not a registered dietitian. I'm a functional medicine coach. So I know you have a lot, some rules that you need to follow with HIPAA and all that, right?
Right.
So you have a specific platform. So, but I'm a little bit flexible, so I can talk with somebody on the phone, face to face, or just regular phone call, and just help them coordinate. The labs that I use, most of them are direct to consumer. So I'm really just kind of directing someone where to go to get the information that they need.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay. Do you use
yeah,
SpectraCell?
I like SpectraCell. For food sensitivities, I like Life Extension.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and another
Am I
lab
sideways? I'm sorry. Am
called
I
Vibrant.
sideways?
Yeah, called Vibrant. You are sideways now.
Okay.
There you are. Oh, he keeps turning.
Am I
Oh, now
upside down?
you're upside down.
Yay! These are the challenges of figuring it out at the last minute.
All right.
Okay, we're good.
All right. Excellent.
Sorry. So,
No, that's
so
okay.
you send the labs out and then they come directly back to the patient and then the patient returns to you for supplementation?
Supplementation, if it's a micronutrient deficiency test, or for the food sensitivities, it's really just a report that says how sensitive they are to different foods. Um, and the other thing that I love right now is with Life Extension, their food sensitivity lab includes a Candida screen. So for
Oh,
people
that's
that
cool.
aren't familiar with Candida, it's a gut bacteria that pretty much everybody has, but it can become overgrown and cause some really serious things like the bloating and the headaches and the brain fog and the weight loss resistance. So this test will tell them what foods they're sensitive to and if they have a high level of candida.
That's
So
helpful
then we can
because
tackle that all at the same time.
and candida causes that like rheumatoid feeling, right? And then
It
like you wake
can.
up feeling like tight and tired, and I have so many
Right.
clients that are like, I just don't know like where my energy is coming from today. I can't barely keep going.
Yeah. And then they're fueling with caffeine all day, which, it's not a horrible thing, but
No,
if
but
you're doing, 3 or 4 cups of coffee every day, that's tough on your adrenals as well and your hormones, and it's kind of a spiral. So,
yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I agree.
So what kind of things are you telling your clients today about, like easy tips for dealing with this at home?
This at home thing.
The
Yeah. So
at
I mean,
home, yeah.
I guess we've been pretty fortunate recently, kind of getting out a bit in the summer and having the ability to like
Yes.
exercise outside. But what I was noticing during COVID, and I said this a few times, is that a lot of my clients were having a really hard time staying motivated, and we're gaining weight despite trying their hardest. And that was what perplexed me. I was like, okay, everybody's gonna hit this wall or gain a little bit of weight through this challenge. But I didn't realize that even the clients that were completely dedicated, I have clients who are athletes, who are the everyday go-getters with their exercise, found a way. They worked out outside, they found their way, but still gained weight. And that's where I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Until I think finally it occurred to me, and through talking to my clients, that even though they were still putting in the same hour of exercise a day, or let's say whatever they were doing, they were still just moving in their day-to-day from the bed to the computer to the couch, back to the computer, back to the bed.
Yeah.
And that eliminated, like, I feel thousands of burned potential calories from where we used to be up and out and driving our cars. And there was that period where we were just stuck at home, And so I had a trainer on here that was doing, Nicole Peepus. She was talking to me about what her strategy was for that. And she was telling her clients, which was so helpful, every hour, get up and do a set of something. You set your clock to be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And if you choose, let's say you choose biceps that day, every hour, grab a couple of cans or a couple of jugs and do 3 sets of 15 bicep curls. Or, maybe you go over to the wall and do some wall push-ups on that day. Or,
Yeah.
picking something every hour. And so many of my clients were like, wow, that helped me so much get back into
Oh, that's great.
my groove. Yeah. So that was a
Yeah.
super helpful tip.
Good for the mind too, because when you're moving, it, brings all the good endorphins and the hormones in the brain. And so, that's good all around. I think the stress has been huge for people. Like it's really taken over. I know it's caused a lot of additional glasses of wine
Yeah,
and
that's a
stuff
big
like
one.
that, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of
So,
alcohol intake, and that
yeah.
you always want to. And what I do, I always want to tell my clients, look, it's cool. Like there's no judgment here.
Right.
Do,
Never.
do you enjoy socially? Do whatever you got to do. But it really did start slowing people down because
Yeah.
I think your liver is responsible for dealing with all of that alcohol, and your liver is also responsible for making ketones, and so you're not really burning fat efficiently if you're drinking every night,
Right.
right?
Yeah. But I love the idea, back to the exercise, of setting the timer. There's so many great apps for stuff like that if you need it. Like I use an alarm, it's called Alarmed, I think, or Alarm app, where it will just pop up on the screen, exercise, whatever it is you want to say, and then it will keep hounding you like every 5 seconds if you ask it to.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
because the accountability piece for people is so huge. You almost want somebody to, text you or check in with you. Did you do this today? Did you do this today? So I know, we probably fill a similar role for our clients with the accountability piece. They need us to kind of stay on top of them and make sure they're doing what they say they want to do for themselves.
Yeah, and it's hard because my clients, a lot of them will ask me, look, could you check in with me once a week? Could you text me every day? And I'm like, I wish I could give you that kind of attention,
Right.
but
Yeah.
do that for all my clients. And so these platforms like Noom, I think, has been super helpful
Yes.
because it's like the community getting on each other, reminding each other. Did you ever see Diet Bets?
Diet Best?
Bets, like
Bets.
the
Oh,
casino bets.
oh, it's like a group like accountability thing, but they're betting on who's going to do what. And that's,
Yeah.
no, I haven't heard
So
of that.
it's so
That's
cool. You
that's
could go,
great.
they could go on and like you could start a bet. You could throw $50 in or whatever, start a group and say, here's my bet. Whoever loses 10% body fat in the next month, we'll split this pot. So everybody will throw in, anywhere from like $5 to $50 or whatever into
Oh,
the
I
bet.
like
And
that.
there's people
Yeah.
all over the world in there. So
Yeah.
you're posting your weight with this card that has the daily number on it, so you're not lying.
Right.
But you could win a bunch of money, and so this is
Wow. Yeah. Oh, I'll have to try
yeah,
that. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, because that's super motivating for a lot of people. You know, like the group program type thing, or the Biggest Loser type, things where people are all in it together and comparing notes, stuff like that. That does make a difference, definitely. And
yeah.
then what
So I
about
wondered.
sleep? Like for your clients, are they dealing with sleep, like having trouble with sleep? I know that's
Oh,
so huge for weight.
oh my God, so huge
Yeah,
for weight. I always tell them, look, if you're not sleeping, you're eating because you only can get energy from sleep and from food. And so when your body is deprived of one, it goes after the other.
right.
So if you're controlling your cravings and they're like out of control, look at your sleep patterns. And if you're under 7 hours, I mean, that's kind of probably what's sneaking in on you.
Right. And
What
it's
do you
funny,
think
you
your
say
sleep?
7 hours and people are like, there's no way that I'm going to get 7 hours, but it is really important to do that, like 7 to 9.
Totally critical. So
Yeah.
how do you get your clients to sleep more? Do you use like sleep hygiene tips?
I do. I talk about, not looking at the blue light, the computer or the phone or the screen right before bed. I talk about, making sure that your bedroom is really dark, that there aren't, like lights everywhere or big lights coming in from outside. But back to the functional diagnostic testing, a lot of times people are deficient in some essential nutrients like magnesium or zinc, which is affecting their body's production of melatonin. So when sleep is an issue and they've tried all the things like stopping watching the TV right before bed, all those things, and they're still having trouble, then I'll move to like a diagnostic, a functional diagnostic test. Like you mentioned, SpectraCell is one of them where we can test every single vitamin and mineral level in their body and know exactly what's missing. That's probably my favorite test of all because it's so eye-opening, and I feel like as soon as they correct that nutrient deficiency, things just change like within a few days. So,
That's interesting. And
yeah.
Kate, and not you, Kate, the Kate that's asking our question, she's one of my
Oh,
clients on the feed. She says, "What if you sleep too much or can't sleep when you need to, then sleep in too much?" I have a lot of clients that sleep too much too. And is it just a matter of exhaustion or a nutrient deficiency? I feel like this summer I found a few clients that are seriously oversleeping. And when we looked into their labs, it was both times iron deficiency.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, that'll wipe you out completely if you're deficient in iron.
So, and then this is my partner that just jumped on, Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. She's the other owner of our group, and she's
Oh,
asking
okay.
you, I guess, is that test only showing for that day? How long would you be assumed to be deficient for?
No,
Interesting.
so yeah, that is a really good question. The test, you can do like a regular blood test with, a regular primary care physician, which will show you your blood level, which is actually that day. So let's just say you like took all your multivitamins and then went in and got a test. It could show that your levels are higher just at that particular time. But the test that I use is actually an intracellular test and extra. So it shows both outside of the cells, so in the blood, but also your levels inside of your cells. So it's much more thorough. It shows you, not only what you're taking in, but is your body actually absorbing it, bringing it into your cells, and utilizing it properly. So it
Ah,
it takes a lot longer to get the results because it's so thorough and they're digging into your cells, but it's still a simple blood draw. I'm working with mobile phlebotomists now, so they can come to your home or your office or wherever you want them 2, or there are plenty of labs. So it's a simple blood draw, but it usually takes a couple of weeks to get the test results back. But it's
And
super thorough.
is it ever covered by insurance for
No,
clients? And
unfortunately not.
do you have an idea of like the range, like what the cost is for it?
It's $299.
$299. I mean, I think it's well worth it if it's going to give you an accurate
Absolutely.
picture of what's been going on in the past,
Yeah.
couple of months. And
I do them on myself even like every 6 months because, I'm not free from health issues. I know people probably think that, when you're a dietitian or when you're a health coach, you're perfectly well all the time. That's not true. We also deal with issues. So mine was most recently that I was starting to lose a lot more hair than I wanted to lose. In the shower, it was coming out, and it was making me crazy. So I did my micronutrient test, and I was also at the time dealing with some sleep trouble as well. So my results came back. I was severely deficient in biotin, and zinc. And I can't remember,
wow.
maybe one of the B vitamins too. But I mean, it only took me like 2 months, which is a little bit longer than most people want to hear. But when you're really deficient, it takes a while to build your levels back up.
Right, to
But I
replace
replaced
those
the
stores.
biotin, I replaced the zinc, and I'm sleeping, thankfully, and my hair's not falling out. So
That's amazing.
I know I love it. It's super cool. That's why I say it's my favorite test,
I
because it
love a quick
really
answer
does make a
like
huge
that.
difference.
I
Yeah.
love that. So if I wanted my clients to get that testing done, through you guys,
Yeah.
how would I refer them to you for a visit, or how would it work?
Yeah, I mean, you can refer them to me, or we can talk about probably getting you set up with a lab. I mean, it's something that I think you could offer as well to your clients.
Yeah, so right now the question that's up, the posted question is from one of the dietitians that works in my practice,
Okay.
Karen, and she's saying, she says, I love the micronutrient test. Just ordered one for a client for Absolute Nutrition. I use Vibrant Labs now, not SpectraCell. Sounds like
Same.
that's what you're using. Yeah,
Yeah, I was using SpectraCell, and I do like their test. I do like their report that they produce. It's very user friendly. But I'm now using Vibrant, and for a lot of reasons, they're fantastic. The support is great, and you need that when you're working with lots and lots of people. You need some backup.
yeah,
So their whole team is great, and they offer a lot of different testing. I use them for food sensitivities, nutrient deficiencies, gut health, neurotransmitters, hormones, you name it. They do the testing, and it's new technology, very thorough. It just takes the guessing out of pretty much any health issue that you're dealing with. So,
amazing and
yeah.
great that one of the dietitians in my group is already using it through Absolute
Yeah.
Nutrition. She's telling me, and she's telling me I can do it too. So
Yeah.
I guess this is something we need to get a staff meeting together on. Let's check out Vibrant together.
Yeah. I'll introduce you to the woman that I work with here in New Jersey, and she'll set you up. It's
That
great.
would be
Yeah.
great. That
Yeah.
would be great. That's something I think would add a lot of value to my service because, then you kind of go through it with your client and make the necessary changes. So once you realize what they're deficient in, do you typically then recommend that they're using what kind of supplementation?
I work with a few different companies on supplementation. I work with a company that does I call it a custom cocktail.
Everybody likes the word
I
cocktail.
know. So, and it's great, especially for those people that have quite a few deficiencies and they don't want to take like 10 different pills. Um, so I can customize it so that it's exactly what they need all in one. But there are a lot of different companies out there, supplement companies. I'm very picky because I want it to be high quality. I don't want there to be any weird, binders or fillers or anything like that. So, but yeah, I don't, when I work with someone and I say to them, here are your results, it shows that you are highly deficient in these things. I don't ever want to say to them, go to, CVS or like a
Right.
random place and pick out whatever's on the shelf because I don't know what's in that stuff. So I want to give them a recommendation for something that I know isn't going to hurt them.
Right.
that's high quality. Yeah.
And so you found your brands that
I
you're
yeah, I found the ones that I can trust and I know that they aren't going to hurt my clients, and so, and I keep up with that. I think it's really important that we can provide those types of resources for people. People don't want to have to go figure it all out themselves. So, you know.
yeah. And then I mean a recommendation I have that kind of falls in line with that is there's an app. A lot of my clients track their foods and they're like, where should I track? My Fitness Pal or whatever. But
Yeah.
there's one called Chronometer that
Oh,
really, really shows this awesome breakdown at the bottom of your day saying like exactly what you're short in and really tells you what percentage you've had of everything. So it's Chronometer. There's a free version that's fine,
okay.
and it really helps me to assess like what somebody might be missing because maybe they're on a ketogenic diet and they're very short in magnesium and some other vitamins you see that totally are missing, some of the electrolytes. But
Oh.
yeah,
So
so
it's based on their food, based on what they're eating, it tells them what their nutrients, what extra nutrients they might be needing. That's what this does.
yeah, so it'll
Okay.
have everything, every micronutrient, and then there's the
Wow.
bar that says you've had 300% of this, 5% of this, and I think it's great because if they do the micronutrient testing, find out what they're deficient in already, and then they're looking at their intake every day, saying, all right, am I, because the food I think is an important component too.
Oh,
Trying
absolutely.
to get those missing vitamins through your whole eating and your approach to eating, that makes every single thing you eat becomes valuable to you, and you
Right.
feel good because you're really satisfying your body's needs. So it's motivating for people too. When their energy goes up and the bloating goes down and you feel flatter in your stomach, I mean, that's like, yes, I'm going to go work out
Yeah.
today,
Yes.
you
And that is
know?
more motivating, right? Every step they take in the right direction,
Yeah. And
helps them to want to take another one. Yeah. That's really, I've never heard of that app before. I'll have to check that out too.
oh, it's
I
excellent
like it.
too. It's excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. For
Yeah,
tracking.
if we can get everything we need from food, great. It's just, you know, it's challenging.
It,
And then if you're in a deficiency situation that, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the supplementation can be helpful
yeah.
for
Yeah. I mean,
specifics. Yeah.
and between clients that have gut issues that can't absorb properly, functionally,
Right.
and clients that just dislike certain groups of foods or completely avoid things for religious reasons or social reasons, whatever.
Right.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of deficiency going on out there.
Right. Yeah, if you're drinking coffee, you're probably B vitamin deficient.
If you're drinking alcohol, you're probably
Right.
B12 deficient.
Yeah. And deficiencies in Bs will make you feel tired all the time. So, yeah, it's important, and that's a great resource for people. It's probably, I mean, I don't know if it'd be fun for everyone. I would love something like that where I can look and say,
It's
I
fun
know
for
I need
us.
more B vitamins. So does it give you suggestions in for foods if you know you
No,
need certain things?
but
No.
that's where like our dietitians will come in.
Okay.
That's our
Right.
our purpose is
Okay.
going in and helping people, make a sample day where the foods that they're missing are always there. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And these are the foods that you probably shouldn't be buying because they're just taking up space in your stomach and they're not giving
Right.
you anything that you need. So you only
Yeah.
have this. I always tell my clients you have this like fist-sized stomach to get a meal into, and if you're
Right.
filling it up with something like so many times half of it is just filler, like
Right.
just
Right.
just pasta or rice or something that really isn't helping you get to your energy goal, then you
Right.
know you're not going to feel useful. So
Yeah. I like it. That's
yeah.
good.
So I think if anybody has any questions, there's not a ton of people on our talk because we didn't advertise it, and
Right.
that's great. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if anybody has any questions for either one of us, please feel free to shoot them out at any time. I mean, I think this will be kind of a good merger to get people talking to both of us. What is CFS? Oh, chronic fatigue syndrome and
Mm,
fibromyalgia. Oh yeah, there we go. Can you take
yeah.
that?
I mean, those are tough too. It's, for me, it would be a lot of digging, a lot of information about, if there's been sometimes a long history of antibiotic use, or, as a child, maybe stuff like that. With medication of any kind, as it pulls nutrients from your body. So there's a lot of research and science around nutrients being a big issue with both of those. But you have to look at the whole person, right? What are they eating? How are they sleeping? What's the stress level like? What is the gut health, or, is there a challenge there? I know, especially with things like chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, um, you know, pretty much everything that is, a disease or a dis-ease, of the body really starts in the gut a lot of the time. So if we can take a look at what's going on, if there are any, you know, for lack of better words, crazy bacteria that's maybe going on that we can address with diet and lifestyle changes, that can make all the difference. So I know I'm not giving like the one answer, because there really isn't.
There's
It's
not one
really just
answer.
investigating the whole person, the whole lifestyle, what they're eating, and then their history, to see where we can uncover what I call healing opportunities for them.
Right. So yeah, so this listener here, Danny Rose, she was the one asking about the fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, but she's saying, is there any type of healing? She's in pain. She has no energy. And I guess it sounds like you're saying she's saying, what type of doctor should I be seeing? It's so confusing.
Yeah.
So what's the first step? Like, what's the first investigative step into figuring out like what's making you feel the way that you're feeling? What do you think that is?
I mean, for a lot of people, that she used the word doctor, so I would refer, if she wanted to see a doctor, I would refer to a functional medicine doctor, someone who's really going to look at the root cause. What are the real reasons behind all of the issues that she's dealing with? Um, and typically, like with the two that she's mentioning, the chronic fatigue and the fibromyalgia, the pain and the extreme exhaustion, it may not seem like it or sound like it, but they probably are just very related. Whatever's going on in the body, once we start to address that specific issue, we usually start to see that everything kind of resolve. It's all related. So I would say to look for a functional medicine doctor, or, someone like myself, a functional medicine coach, um, someone that really wants to have that very deep dive type of a conversation to investigate further and see what the cause is. When you
Yeah.
address it at the cause, it's just so different. It's not, let's try this and see what happens or what works, or let's take this pill, or, whatever. It's like, exactly why it's happening and address it there. It really makes a huge difference. So functional medicine is the term to remember.
And that's your practice, is functional medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are
Mm-hmm.
integrative, tell me,
In,
health advisors?
integrative integrative wellness advisors is the name of my business. Um, so
And you're located in Springfield,
I'm actually in
Massachusetts?
Mountainside. Mm-hmm.
Mountainside,
Uh-huh.
which
Yeah.
is great. I have a lot of clients that
Yeah.
are in this area. Are you also doing telehealth visits?
Yes. I'm
Great. That's
pretty much doing
amazing.
all telehealth right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So this particular client, she says she's in Florida now, but what's the first step to finding a functional medicine doctor in my area? Well, that's the other thing. You don't really have to, I think, focus on somebody in your area right now, because
Right.
right now we're open to telehealth.
Yes.
So you can
Right.
see somebody that whoever like starts to resound with you anywhere. You can look. Yeah. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And the Institute for Functional Medicine is a functional medicine school, for physicians that want to get trained in functional medicine. And I know they have a list of practitioners that they've trained, like, on their website. So that's a good place to look. But yeah, especially with functional medicine, it's not your typical, Western medicine type of a doctor where they need to always, do the hands-on, take your pulse and listen to your heart and stuff like that. I think eventually they would want to, but just to have a conversation with someone about what's been going on, and, like I mentioned, that deep dive, really getting into the history of the person, can be done over a video call or a phone call.
Right.
And yeah, and then one of the blessings, I'll call it, of COVID is that we've sort of been forced to learn other ways to help people than having them come into an office. And I've actually been really pleasantly surprised with how well, you know, our field of health and wellness has adapted to just being able to still help people.
Right.
Um, you know, concierge medicine coming into your home if you need it, you know, that's all available to you now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed too. I couldn't believe the insurance companies like reached out immediately when this COVID thing started and said, guess what? Now you can see patients anywhere. I mean, we're going to accept that as, because in the past it was usually if I had patients coming from like out of state or out of country or anywhere that, you know, not close by, um, the insurance companies would say, look, unless you are, you know, immobile and can't get to a dietitian or don't have a dietitian in your area, um, then we're not covering it. But at this point,
Okay.
they've extended. Go ahead and see any dietitian anywhere. We're going to cover it for you.
Oh, that's
So
great.
yeah, so that's how, Danny. That's the answer to that question. If you wanted to make an appointment, I know with my group to see a dietitian, you can just do that, and we will check your insurance for you, and we'll see what your coverage is, and let you know if you have any copays. And like I said before, we're waiving copays for some of our big helpers, some of our first responders and stuff. So, and for a lot of people, this is actually completely free. And
Oh,
and nobody knows that. I encourage
wow.
people to always check in with a dietitian. It could be a free service for
Absolutely.
you know. So
Yeah.
that's how you're covered, Danny.
That's so great that now you can work with anybody anywhere.
Huh? I
That's,
know.
yeah, it's fantastic.
I know. So I'm learning things about other cultures, about other parts of the country, and things that I'm used to kind of counseling in Jersey, and these are the challenges we face in Jersey and New York. But clients coming over from California have totally different struggles right now, and
Right.
it's nice to be able to connect with them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kate is available to you even if you're in Florida,
Yes.
anywhere you are.
Yeah, I
Your
mean, we
website.
can put my my website or my contact information in the comments at some point, right? And or I can do that, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put in Danny's asking questions. She says it's listed as a holistic dietitian because so many nutritionists are conventional and they tell you to eat whole wheat pasta. That's so funny. That's so funny that you should say that because so the group that I own is a group of registered dietitians, but I feel that in our mission is that we've evolved beyond, just taking the FDA recommendation and handing you a food pyramid, or it's not even a pyramid, it's plates now, and
Right.
saying you need to have 6 servings of whole grain every day and 4 servings of fruit. And that, I think we are a bit more radical in our thinking and a bit more open-minded. So in my group, we're doing things like we're using ketogenic diet for some of our clients. We're using the elimination diets for our clients. A lot of the things that the ADA doesn't really support, but that's working well for us. And
Good.
that's being in practice for years. You kind of start to figure out what works for your patients, and it's not
Right.
always with the propaganda we've been fed for all these years.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
So
I love that you just said that.
yeah, so if we can
Yeah.
post, can you go in comments and post
Yeah.
your website, and I will post mine for people like Danny who are interested in contacting us.
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolute Nutrition Counseling. Sorry guys, this is we're a little technically defunct here, but we're getting there.
Okay.
There we go. And I
Excellent.
don't. Oh, I see yours now. Good. Okay.
Thank you.
So good. I'm glad we got to. I'm glad we got to chat.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. If anybody has anything else for either one of us, questions, anything, feel free to reach us through our websites, and we're here to help. We both have groups that can work in tandem for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. So if there's not any other questions, are you ready to head off, Kate?
Yeah. Can't wait to do this again.
I know, this was fun.
Thank you.
We're gonna be getting together more often. So
Yeah.
we'll have topics and we will post them ahead of time what we're gonna be talking about. I think it's a really nice merger to fill in on both of our ends.
Yeah, and I guess if you're listening or watching, they can watch the replay, right? On your
Yeah,
page.
so
Yeah.
just
I
yeah.
was just gonna say, like, if you're watching or watching the replay and you have a topic that you would like for us to talk about, put it in the comments because we're here for you. And so we want to obviously talk about things that are important to you, to the listeners. So
Yeah, we're gonna make up
yeah.
a schedule of how when we're gonna meet together and what our topics are gonna be. And so, and if we advertise ahead, you guys will know when we'll be on, so you can pop on and ask your questions and stuff.
But this was good for a last minute put it together.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think it'll be great.
Yeah. Thank you. All
Perfect. Yeah.
right.
So, listeners, we will see you soon.
Yes.
Are you from the school of Dr. Mark Hyman?
Yes. Yes.
Who doesn't
He
love
was one
Dr.
of the founders of the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy that I went to. So, yeah.
Great. Great, great, great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your
All
questions,
right.
guys. It was nice
Thank
checking in with
you.
you.
All right. See you
Okay.
later.
Bye.
Bye.